In this video, I'm going to give you the exact steps to melt 25 to 30 pounds of fat in the next 180 days or less. You don't have to give up any of your favorite foods or spend more than 3 hours in the gym. This is the exact blueprint you can follow. This is the same info that other fitness coaches will charge you hundreds of dollars for. You get it all for free. This is not clickbait. Watch the video, take notes, enjoy. So this is what I call the fat melter protocol. This is what I use to transform myself to melt 25 pounds of fat and finally reveal my abs. It's also how I help my clients melt 25 to 30 pounds of fat without having to give up any of their favorite foods or spend more than 3 hours in the gym in 180 days or less. You were almost 200 pounds at the beginning of January. Just 4 weeks later, how much did you weigh in at yesterday?
Weighed in at about 186 pounds.
So 14 pounds down overall.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit of context, you were weighing in at 160 pounds 3 months ago. And what did you weigh in as yesterday?
Yesterday, 134 pounds.
Damn. So 26 pounds down in 3 months. And Suhail, just for a bit of context, you were 183 pounds when we started working together. And
Yes.
how much did you weigh in at today?
In kilograms, I am 78. You do the math, bro.
So you're 171 pounds today. So you lost about 12 pounds.
Yes.
Dini, just for a little bit of context, you were 200 pounds just 2 weeks ago. And what weight has been the lowest you've weighed in at so far since we started working together?
Around 195.
5 pounds down overall?
5 pounds down. Yeah, it was crazy when I saw that on the scale. Also, I was also pretty shocked. I thought maybe it was like broken or some shit.
In this video, you're going to get the exact steps that I followed, and I teach to my clients everything to do with nutrition, training, and recovery. The 3 big pillars. We're going to focus on that, and also everything you must avoid. Basically, all the stuff that I wasted years doing that you don't need to do. So who is this video actually for? If you're someone that's sick of feeling lost, you want to stop trying different diet and workout plans, you're sick of hopping from one program to another without ever seeing the type of results you actually want, and you just want a proven blueprint that you can take, implement into your own life and see results straight away, this video is for you. If you feel like your metabolism, your genetics are broken, then this video is also for you. It can feel like there's something wrong with you, something wrong with your genetics, because you've been doing the wrong things for such a long period of time. But I'm here to tell you that is actually not the case. You just need to start doing the right things, and then you can see progress, because every single person can absolutely lose fat. You just need to start doing the right stuff. And I'm going to give you the right stuff to follow. And if you're also someone that wants to drop 25 to 30 pounds of fat and stay that way forever, this video is for you. On the other hand, who is this video not for? If you're someone that's just waiting until your situation is perfect to start, you think you're too busy now and you're just putting this off to another day, this video is not for you. Because what you got to realize is, if you want to do this for the rest of your life, you have to realize you are going to be busy again in the future. So if you're busy right now is actually the best time to start, because if you can do it when you're busy, you can do it forever. Whereas if you start doing this when everything is perfect, when you have the most time, then when things get busy again, you'll just fall off. So if you're busy right now, it is actually the perfect time to start. And if you're someone that's just looking for a quick fix, like a special diet or a special hack or a special training routine that's going to magically get you these crazy results, that is not what this video is about. This is about making long-term sustainable change so you can see crazy results and maintain that for the rest of your life, okay? And the process is simple, but the process is hard, okay? It's gonna require some work. So if you're not willing to put the work in, then this video is not for you either. If you're also not ready to allocate at least 3 hours per week to the gym, then click off this video. If you're just going to hop from program to program without ever really committing to anything, then this is also not for you. You can have the best program for you in the entire world, but if you cannot actually commit to it long enough to actually see results, then nothing will ever work for you. So here's the truth. This is what I want you to realize, right? You can get shredded. You can lose 25 to 30 pounds of fat while eating the food you love and spending 3 hours or less in the gym. You don't have to live in there, all while keeping those results forever. Most people just aren't capable of this because they're just confused on what to do. There's just so much shit online, like follow this diet, eat this food, don't eat this thing, you need to train in this way, and that's just really overwhelming, right? And it creates so much unnecessary confusion, and a lot of people don't take action because of that. And a lot of people don't understand proper nutrition or training that they can implement to see the results they want, just because there's already so much misinformation going on. And what I want you to realize is the process is actually really simple, and I'm going to give it to you all in this video. And a lot of people use the whole like quick fix method, just making different quick fixes to their diet, see a little bit of progress, but then fall back right into the same old habits. They gain back the weight and they miss out on all the progress that they just gained. But what I want you to realize is this fat melter protocol, what I'm about to give you, is actually long-term sustainable changes. So once you implement this into your life, it will allow you to actually lose that fat and keep it off forever. And don't worry, if you're stuck right now, you've been trying to lose the weight, nothing's working, you haven't been able to keep it off, I'm not going to let that happen to you. I'm not going to let you stay stuck. I'm going to give you everything you need in this video. I promise you that. There is no such thing as my diet has to be chicken, rice, and broccoli. All right. That is a thing of the past. That was actually, sorry, not a thing of the past. That was never a thing. All right. You can absolutely eat the foods you love and still lose weight and keep it off. And I don't want to hear that, okay, I have to starve myself to be able to do this. Sure, you know what? You might be able to lose weight starving yourself, but the thing is, the weight you're going to be losing is going to be both fat and muscle. So you'll actually not create any visual change. You'll just become a smaller version of yourself. You're going to be losing muscle along with all of that fat, which is not very healthy overall. And it's not going to create an aesthetic looking transformation. And I'm going to give you all the things that you need to do to maintain muscle while you're losing fat. And I also hear a lot of people say, I have poor genetics, this won't work for me, there's something wrong with my body. But the thing you got to realize is you are not special, all right? And that is a good thing, because your body is going to work the same way as everyone else's, all right? Even I've said all of these objections myself, right? I believed these exact same things. But once you make that mindset shift and you realize, okay, the stuff I've been doing, it's just been the wrong stuff. And that's why it feels like there's something wrong with me. But in reality, when you start doing the right stuff, you will see progress just like everyone else. These are the same stuff that my clients also used to say before working with me. And then they started to see the results that they wanted. It's just that they needed to do the right stuff. And I'm going to give you exactly what you need to follow. And a lot of people, again, will say, I'm too busy, right? I'm just going to do this another time when I'm more free. But then a lot of people end up procrastinating and they push away their health and their fitness to another day that never comes. And if this is important to you and you want to prioritize this right now, now is the best time to start. I'll show you exactly how to lose 25 to 30 pounds of fat in 180 days or less. And if you want that person to be you, I'll also show you exactly how I helped Vedant, one of my clients, who was stuck at 200 pounds for years, right? He'd been trying different programs. It never really got him the results that he actually wanted. And he'd been struggling with unhealthy eating and drinking habits. And he was actually feeling out of breath doing certain day-to-day tasks. And in only 4 weeks, Vedant did this, okay? He dropped 14 pounds to reach 186 pounds, and he did this while eating lasagna and Indian takeout, and he was still going out and eating and drinking with his friends and family. He was fitting into the tighter clothes now. He's actually changed the size of his Apple Watch because it was too loose. He had to actually tighten it by one of the sizes. And his friends and family are all saying how impressed they are with how much weight he's lost so far. His facial features are a lot sharper. His skin is literally glowing. And he's also feeling so much higher in energy. He's even started training for his first marathon. And if you want that person to be you, I'm going to show you how to do all of this without giving up any of your favorite foods or spending more than 3 hours in the gym. And in case you don't know me, I actually started off at the opposite end of the spectrum. I was skinny, right? I was trying to put on some mass, put on some muscle, and I just followed just random fucking shit I found online, and I made myself skinny fat. And from there, I made myself fat. I got pretty chunky. My belly was like hanging over my pants, and I actually felt way less confident than I was before I ever started working out. So it actually made my situation worse physically and mentally, in my opinion. And it didn't really feel good. And I was actually stuck in this phase of being fat for quite a while. I was trying out different things which never really got me the type of progress I wanted. But there was one advantage of trying out a whole bunch of different shit, because I eventually found what worked, right? And that's when I started to see the type of progress I wanted. My abs were revealed, my muscle was revealed. I'd actually packed on some muscle, and I felt a lot better about my body. I was feeling way more confident, right? So I felt a lot healthier. I felt way more energetic. I was a lot stronger. I went from a guy who could barely do a pull-up to doing 40-kilogram weighted pull-ups. My confidence was sky high. I was getting more attention from girls. That's how I attracted my current girlfriend of 3 years. And that's also when I started moving to coaching others so that they could achieve the same results as me, but in a fraction of the time. Now, you've already seen some of the testimonials at the beginning of the video, but here's a few more testimonials just to see some of the guys that I've already helped so far. So, in the following steps, I'm going to give you the entire process, A to Z, of what I did to accomplish these results for myself and with my clients. So we're going to be focusing on the 3 pillars: nutrition, training, and recovery. All right. We're going to start with nutrition. When it comes to nutrition, all we care about is calories and protein. You focus on hitting your calorie target and protein target as consistently as possible. That is all we care about with nutrition. So let's jump into it. Number 1, we got to calculate our calorie target. So you can go to any online calorie calculator, plug in your info. You can enter your gender, your age, weight, height, activity level, and then you can calculate your maintenance calories. So it gives you your maintenance calories, which is basically the amount of calories you'd have to eat per day to maintain your current weight. So we take the maintenance calories and then we deduct 250 to 500 to put you in a calorie deficit. So let's say you calculated your maintenance and it was 2,500 for you, right? The online calorie calculator gave you 2,500. All you do is you subtract around 250 to 500. So that would be around 2,000 to 2,250 on a daily basis. That is your calorie target to put you in a calorie deficit. Number 2, we have our protein target. So you may have heard of this equation before for calculating that, which is 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. Now, this is a perfectly reasonable equation, and I've used this myself before. But if you're over 30% body fat, you're overweight, the equation kind of falls apart because it relies on mainly like lean body mass. But if you're carrying a lot of excess fat, doesn't really make much sense for you, because if you're like 200, 250 pounds, that's like 200, 250 grams of protein, which is a crazy amount of protein, especially for someone that is just starting out. So the equation that is most suitable for you in your situation is actually 1 gram of protein per centimeter of your height. So in my case, that would be 173 grams of protein per day. Oh, but I can't get enough protein. Now, this is something I hear on a daily basis. So let's solve that. We got chicken thighs. We got pork steak, almonds, chicken breast, tofu, eggs, protein powder, whole milk, kidney beans, lamb, fish, non-fat Greek yogurt, beef mince. And I'm not trying to say eat all the protein sources you're seeing on the screen. The idea is you probably already have some of these protein sources in your diet. You just need to eat more of them. Just increase your portion sizes of these protein containing ingredients. If you're someone who doesn't have any of these protein containing ingredients in your diet right now, it's also totally fine. Just start adding about 1 to 3 of these protein containing ingredients into your diet and start expanding the portion sizes bit by bit every single day. And then you can slowly work your way up to that protein target. And here is a full list of all of these foods ranked based on which ones have most protein for the lowest amount of calories. So feel free to take a screenshot of this and save it for later. Baby steps. Who the fuck is that guy? That is me as a baby. And my point is, you gotta take this whole thing one step at a time. All right. If you're someone who's having like 30, 40 grams of protein, that is totally fine. I also started off with a very low protein intake. And let's say your target is like 150 or 170 grams of protein. That's a huge jump, right? You don't have to jump to that target straight away. You can slowly work up to it by adding a little bit more protein to your diet every single day. Same thing with the calorie target, right? You don't have to be in a 500 calorie deficit straight away. You can be in a small deficit, like 200 calorie deficit or a 250 calorie deficit. And once you start to get some momentum, if you want, then you can make the calorie deficit a little bit bigger and accelerate your progress. But always baby steps. That is the key to consistency, and that is how you see crazy results in the long term. It does not matter whether you can do this just for a week or two. What matters is you doing this for the next few months, next few years, ideally for the rest of your life. Step 3 is nutrition tracking. Now, this is a big concept that I slept on for such a long time in my fitness journey. And this is the biggest thing I was missing for such a long period of time, and is often what beginners miss out on the most. Because right now, as someone who's not really paid attention to their food that much before, you aren't going to know about the nutrition in foods. That's simply how it is. You're not going to know roughly how many calories this meal has or how much protein it has, because you've never had to worry about it before. And that's totally fine. I started out the same exact way. And that's why tracking your foods to figure out like what the nutrition is in the meals you're having, that is so helpful, because that is the only way you can know. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark, right? You're shooting in the dark and you're hoping for the best. Now that we've actually calculated those targets, your calorie target and protein target, nutrition tracking is the way you ensure that from the foods you're eating, that you're actually hitting those targets. So let's break it down, right? How does nutrition tracking actually work? You can use a nutrition tracking app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. Both are free apps, and the way they work is basically a food diary, right? You log the foods that you're eating on a daily basis, and the app will then tell you the nutrition in your foods. So let's say, okay, you tell the app, I'm having this much of chicken, this much of rice, and then the app says, okay, you got this many calories, this much of protein. You don't have to do any like manual calculations or take out a calculator and add everything up. None of that. The app takes care of all the hard work for you. You just need to tell the app what foods you're consuming. That's it. So this is kind of what the interface would look like for MyFitnessPal. And let's say we're trying to add some food here. So we click add food, and then it takes us to this menu. And over here, we can scan a barcode. So if you've got some food item like pack of chicken breast or a pack of cookies, you just scan the barcode, boom, food item shows up, and then you just state the quantity, like how many grams of chicken breast or how many cookies or whatever it is that you're eating, and then you just add it to your food diary like that. You don't have to do anything manually yourself. The app takes care of so much of it for you. Like it could not be easier in today's world to track your nutrition and lose weight. And there's also like a scan a meal feature, which is like this new AI thing. And I believe solutions like this will become only more popular as AI becomes more popular, but it's not a great solution, to be honest, because the AI has no idea how much oil you used when you're cooking a meal, or like whether your beef is 5% fat or 20% fat. Like there's so many variables that it cannot account for just from a photo. So that's not a very accurate way of tracking. And in fact, that can probably cause more harm than good, because if you start using the scan a meal feature and you're like, oh wait, I'm hitting my calorie target and my protein target, but I'm not seeing any progress, it's probably because you're inaccurately tracking. So I don't want you to get discouraged. That's why accurately tracking your foods is so helpful. So next thing is, you can also search for foods manually into MyFitnessPal's database or Chronometer's database, and then the food items will pop up. You just select it and then again enter the quantity, and then it gets added to your food diary like it has been here. So this was like a high protein chocolate pudding and 2 bananas. So then for this particular day, it's showing me how many calories I've consumed. So 2050, and then when I click on there, it takes me to this menu, which shows me how much protein is in my foods. So if you are someone who can't track for whatever reason, that is also totally fine. I have some solutions that can work for you. Number one is estimation. All right. With estimation, obviously it's not as good as tracking all your foods, but it is still far better than nothing, and you will still be able to see progress doing this. So this is the plate method. in here, you basically divide up your plate, and 50% will be veggies, 30% will be protein, and 20% will be carbs. Okay, that is using the plate method. Then number 2 is using meal prep. Now, through everything I'm showing you so far, this is all dependent on the person. Like, one method is not inherently better than the other. It's just, it depends on your situation, what you feel you can actually stick to. Like, I personally fucking hate meal prepping. My clients, some of them meal prep on a very regular basis and they consistently lose weight. It's just, it depends what works for you. Now, meal prep, it saves a lot of people time and effort because you just have to really cook on one day and you spend, 2 hours cooking on a Sunday and you don't have to worry about it for the rest of your week. You literally just spend your time reheating the food throughout the week. And when it comes to meal prepping as well, because you can plan out all the meals, you can make sure that you're hitting your calorie target and protein target very easily just by tracking out the meals you're going to have for the week. So you just track it when you're figuring out what meals to have, so you know the meals you're prepping. If you eat those, it's going to get you to the targets that you want. So you don't actually have to track throughout the week because you've just tracked it when you were prepping the meals, right? So you track it just that one day. That's it. So that's another little hack you can use. And here's also an example meal plan that you can follow if you're not really sure where to start. But do realize, I don't want you to just follow this meal plan, meal for meal. The whole purpose of the meal plan is just to get some ideas, right? See what a rough day in the life could look like for you. So this is 2,000 calories and 120 grams of protein in total for the entire day. So I'm just going to flick through these. Feel free to take a screenshot if you want to save it for later. So breakfast is eggs and toast. We've also got the nutritional info here at the bottom. So this is 415 calories, 24 grams of protein. Then we got lunch, which is chicken pasta with the veggies. We got dinner, which is fish wraps. We got snack, which is peanut butter and banana toast. And then an example vegetarian meal plan. We have breakfast, which is also eggs and toast. If you don't have any eggs, that's totally fine. You can replace that with cheese. Lunch is pasta with lentils and veggies. Dinner is grilled paneer wraps. And snack number 1 is, again, peanut butter and toast. And then snack number 2 is a protein shake, just to make it a little bit easier to get to that protein target, just because being a vegetarian makes it a little bit more difficult to get a high protein diet in, which is why protein powder can be very useful. Then we have all these special diets that I'm sure you'd have heard about. Intermittent fasting, keto, I'm going to cut out all carbs just to have one meal a day. Look, what I want you to realize is these diets, they do nothing special, all right? Again, it just comes down to consistently hitting your calorie target and your protein target, like we discussed. You hit those two on a regular basis, that is all you need for progress. Now, on the other hand, if following one of these diets makes it easy and enjoyable for you to hit those calorie and protein targets, then great, then go for it. Like, if you're enjoying it and you want to do it, that is totally fine. But I want you to realize you don't have to force yourself to follow any of these diets. And if you are following one of these diets, it's not doing anything special for you in terms of fat loss, all right? It's just the calorie target and the protein target that matter at the end of the day. So here's some food swaps that you can use to save calories, which are taking, again, very popular foods that are high in calories and then swapping them out for ones that are similar but lower in calories so that they can be better for your goal of fat loss. So I'm just going to flick through them. Feel free to pause and take screenshots if you want. So these are the fast food items. Then we have some common snack items over here. And then we have some meat items. And some alcohol. Your weight is heavily influenced by your diet, which is why we're talking about it here. I want you to be tracking your weight every day. Okay, the reason for that is day to day, you're going to have lots of inconsistencies to do with water weight. Your weight will fluctuate. It will go up and down just because of water weight. That is totally fine. But when we track our weight every day, we have more data. The more data, the better. Because then we can get rid of those inconsistencies and just look at your average weekly weight, which is the most important, okay? And when you start tracking your weight, you can set yourself weight targets every single week. You can lose up to 0.5 to 1% of your body weight each week. So if you're 200 pounds, that's about 1 to 2 pounds per week. This is what a weight tracking graph should look like. And by the way, if I didn't mention it already, when you track your weight, you should enter it into a weight tracking app. Like literally any weight tracking app will work. Just go to the Play Store, App Store, just search for weight tracker. All of them do the exact same thing. And this is what it would look like. And as you can see, there's ups and downs. Now those ups and downs are to be expected. But what matters most is the long-term trend. Is your weight going down in the long term? That is what matters. All right. And what happens if your weight plateaus? Because that's also going to happen at some point. Because as you lose weight, there will be less of you. And because there's less of you, your maintenance calories will also naturally be lower. And because of that, you'll have to lower your calories a little bit more to continue to be in a deficit. So when your weight does plateau, just reduce your calories by 200 and keep going. There are also some other methods of tracking progress. You have progress photos. This is also really cool to see the visual progress you make month on month. Don't use progress photos to just see, okay, week 1 versus week 2, like what change is there? Like, oh, I didn't really see much change. You're not going to see much change week on week, right? There's not going to be much noticeable visual change, but progress photos are helpful to look at the long-term change. I would also track waist size, ideally every 2 weeks. That is also a good metric to see how much fat you're losing around the waist. And that is everything with nutrition. Let's jump into training now. Your training routine needs to have a bodybuilding focus, and you don't need to do cardio. If you're only focused on cardio right now, yes, it can help you lose weight, but that weight is going to be both fat and muscle. You'll actually be making yourself skinny fat. You'll be making yourself a smaller version of where you're at right now. And that's not going to get you a very aesthetic looking transformation. And it's not going to be very healthy either if you're losing muscle and strength along the way. So we want to have a bodybuilding focus with the training routine that we do. And that doesn't mean that you're going to end up being too bulky or anything like that. It just means this is what's going to help you tone up and actually have an aesthetic looking transformation at the end of this program. So when we do have a bodybuilding focus, when you're lifting weights in the gym, there are some key benefits, right? We're going to avoid being skinny fat. We're going to maintain or even build muscle while we're losing fat. We're going to be getting stronger along the way. We're going to boost your metabolism. You're naturally going to be burning more calories throughout the day because you're going to have more muscle mass on you. It's also going to improve your long-term physical health and your mental health. Here are some key terms that you're going to need to know when it comes to following any training plan. So you got reps. A rep is basically a single execution of an exercise, right? 1 push-up is 1 rep. 10 push-ups, 10 reps. A set is a collection of reps. For example, 2 sets of 10 push-ups. What that looks like is, you perform the first set of 10 reps, you rest, and then bam, you do the second set of 10 reps. Failure is something that we look at when we're training. So this is like when you're doing a set of an exercise. This is the point at which you can't even do 1 more rep with good technique as your muscles have become too tired. We're going to talk about failure a little bit later on in the training section. Okay, so I'm going to give you the exact training plan you can follow so you can do all of that. Month 1, this is what it's going to look like. We want to start off easy. So our training frequency is going to be about 2 times a week in the gym. Both of the sessions are going to be full body. So you have full body A and full body B. And the exercises that we're using are primarily going to be compound movements. What that means is these exercises target multiple muscle groups at the same time. So we can basically get more bang for your buck, more output from the input that you spend in the gym. And here I've got the exact exercise names, the sets, the reps. And if you're not sure about any of these exercises, just search them up on YouTube and watch the tutorial videos there. This is how you'd use it in an example week. So Monday you do full body A, Friday you do full body B. And once you've done that for a month, then we can take it a step further and make it a little bit harder. So month 2 and beyond, we start training 3 times a week. So full body A and full body B still remain the same. We add an extra exercise at the end of them. But now we have an additional 3rd day, which is full body C with some new exercises over here. And with this training program, we follow it like this. So Monday is full body A, Wednesday is full body B, Friday is full body C. The exact days themselves don't really matter as long as you're getting at least 1 day of rest between training sessions, that's what matters. So in terms of technique, like I mentioned, watch the YouTube videos for all of these exercises. You can watch them at home before you show up in the gym, just so you can have that extra bit of confidence, so you know how to execute the exercise when you get in there. That helps to reduce a lot of gym anxiety. And also, something super important throughout these next few months and for the rest of your workout journey, when you perform an exercise in the gym, record yourself doing that. And that way you can compare your form to the form in the video and see what you're missing out on, what you're doing wrong. And this is exactly the same process I follow with my clients. Like, they'll record themselves doing an exercise, they send the videos to me, I critique their form, help them make it better, and that's how we continuously improve. So this is Vignesh. He started off doing pull-ups. This was like week 1 or 2 for him. So his form was a little bit all over the place with these pull-ups at first, but after several weeks of improving, his form got way better. And this is something that's going to help you loads throughout your workout journey, because even once you start to get good in exercise, sometimes you can just forget the form, and it's always good to have that reminder. If you're a little bit shy of recording yourself, what I do is I just bring my massive water bottle with me. I set it down, I put my phone against it, and it's super low key. No one can really tell. And yeah, then we have intensity. When you're in the gym, you need to be training hard, pushing yourself hard with every single set for every single exercise. All right. One key indicator is how your face looks. So look at my face here. This is like towards the middle of the set. You can see my face is already starting to look a little bit messed up. If you're fully deadpan, your face is not changing at all from beginning to end of the set, that is a big sign that you need to be pushing a lot harder. And it is a skill at the end of the day, training hard. So don't be too discouraged if you can't actually push yourself hard in your first few weeks. But it's something that when you record yourself as well, you can see whether you're actually pushing yourself hard or not. So it's something you can continuously keep improving your intensity. Second thing is the speed of your reps will naturally start to slow down as you're training hard. It's not something I'm intentionally doing, but look here. So at the middle of my set, the reps are looking pretty smooth, right? But towards the end of the set, it becomes a lot harder for me to get those dumbbells up. Like, my motion upwards is a lot slower, and that's something that's happened naturally. It's not something I'm doing intentionally, and that can look a little bit different from exercise to exercise. Like, if we look here at me doing these RDLs, it's a little bit smoother at the middle of the set, and now I'm reaching towards the end, and the reps just start to slow down. It becomes more of a grind. And pay attention to my face as well. My face is getting kind of fucked up here. And I want you to also use this chart to get a good idea of that. So ideally, you want to be in the 7 to 9 RPE range with majority of the sets you're doing. The next principle when it comes to training is progressive overload. Now, that sounds super complicated, but the idea, I promise, is super simple. It's just about doing a little bit more every week to challenge yourself. So this is how I apply the same concept to go from someone who is barely doing a few pull-ups. Then we have progressive overload. The term itself sounds really complex, but the idea is really simple. This is the same concept I used to go from someone who is barely doing a few pull-ups to doing 40 kilogram weighted pull-ups. Here's how we can apply it. There's 3 ways, right? We can either do more reps, more weight, or better technique every single week. So let's say last week for bench press, you did 60 kilograms for 10 reps. This week, you can do more reps. You can do 11 reps, 12 reps, 13 reps, whatever it is. And then you could do more weight, right? Last week you did 60 kilograms. Maybe this week you're doing 61.5 or 62.5 or 65. And also those small increments in weight still count. Those small increments is what leads to like putting on the big plates over the long term. All right. That's how the big change is actually created, with those small improvements week on week. You can also do better technique. Let's say last week you did bench press, but your form was a little bit shit. This week you improve your form. Right? You have a little bit more control, maybe use a bigger range of motion. That's also one way of progressively overloading. And it can also be any combination of them. It doesn't have to be just increasing only the reps or increasing only the weight. You can increase the weight and the reps and improve your technique. Like any combo of them also works. And please do not rely on memory. I have tried doing that, but it is impossible to remember the weight you used, how many reps you did for every single set, for every single exercise in your training program. It's just not practical. Instead, just make it easy for yourself. Use one of these free workout tracking apps like Strong or Heavy. Just input your workout program into that, and the app will just do all the tracking for you. It will just naturally tell you, okay, you need to do this weight and this many reps in this session so that you can progressively overload. And that's it. Then we have cardio. So you don't have to do any high intensity cardio in your training program. But what I want you to really focus in on is low intensity cardio. So right now you might be around 3 or 4K steps at the moment. So start working your way up to 5K steps per day, and then every week increase that step count. So maybe this week you do 5K, next week you do 6K every day, and then 7K, and slowly work your way up to 10K steps per day. This is really going to allow you to burn way more calories throughout the day in a way that is very passive. It's low intensity, so it's not going to require a lot of energy from you, and it's also not going to cause a lot of hunger or cravings because it's so low intensity. Then we have recovery. So recovery is pretty simple. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, and ideally make sure these hours of sleep are high quality. So here are a few things you can do. You can use an eye mask to block out any external light. You can use earplugs to block out any external noise. That way, you're going to be sleeping like a baby, all right? You're going to be out like a light, and you're going to have good, high-quality sleep. You can also use a sleep tracker. This is very much optional. It's something that's helped me and some of my clients in our own journeys because it just keeps you very accountable, because every night you get a sleep score and you don't want to see that score go down. You're always trying to do a little bit better and improve on that. So there's kind of like that gamified aspect, but you absolutely don't need it. It's just, it can help you. And that's pretty much it for recovery. And then we have one huge key that is going to help you loads throughout this whole journey, and that is support and accountability. Because everything I discuss is obviously general, like it's not specific to you. And everyone's situation is a little bit different, right? You're going to have your own struggles with diet, with training, your own preferences, and you're going to have your own problems that come up along the way that is specific to you, right? So in that case, I really advise you try and get some support, some accountability, so you can put all of this into practice on a consistent basis and get past any roadblocks efficiently. So when it comes to support and accountability, I highly, highly recommend coaching. Obviously, my opinion is a little bit biased because I'm a coach myself, but when I've invested in coaching myself from my own coaches, like I've never once regretted it, because when it comes to learning any skill in life, you're going to pay with either time or with money. So it's more about how you want to pay, right? Because I ended up paying with time when it came to fitness, because I figured out all of this stuff on my own, and it took me years to do that. But with other parts of my life, whether it's like content or business, I've invested in coaching. So I can pay someone else to give me all of those lessons so that I don't have to waste time figuring it out on my own. And you can apply the same principles with fitness, obviously. So it's more about how you want to pay, whether it's time or with money, and what's most important to you. If you don't have access to a coach, or you can't afford a coach, it's also totally fine. You can go for a friend, someone that's got a similar sort of journey to what you want to achieve, someone that's lost a bunch of weight. You can get some help from them. If you don't have a coach or a friend with that experience, you can also rely on ChatGPT. I mean, it's not the best solution, but it's certainly better than nothing. So, I do have an offer for you. If you are overweight, you're tired of not being able to wear the tighter fitting clothes you want, you're tired of just figuring this all out on your own, you don't want to do this trial and error stuff anymore, and you just want to look great with your shirt off, you want to feel super confident, you want to feel energetic and healthy. If you want to melt 25 to 30 pounds of fat and keep it off for the rest of your life without having to give up any of your favorite foods or spending more than 3 hours in the gym in 180 days or less, this is guaranteed, or I give you your money back. This is how confident I am with it. I will literally refund you all the money if you don't get that result. So if that does sound of interest to you, you can book a call with me using the link in the description just to see if or how I might be able to help you with this. Well, you made it to the end. Thank you very much for watching. I hope the video was useful. Again, if you're overweight, you're tired of not being able to fit into the clothes that you want to wear, you're tired of not seeing results, and you just want something that is specific to you, something that you can follow, put in your life and see results straight away so that you can lose 25 to 30 pounds in the next 180 days or less. That is guaranteed, by the way, or you get all of your money back. So if that does sound of interest to you, just book a call with me using the link in the description and we can see if or how I might be able to help you with this.
I went down a size on my Apple Watch band. And
Really?
when I run,
That's
I
crazy.
noticed that I don't like jiggle as much, if that makes sense. Like, when I used to run, I feel like
Yeah.
my chest used to jiggle a lot, but it's
Mhm.
really nowhere as bad as it used to be. Like, people who don't see me often, when they've seen me recently, are also like, damn, bro, like, you've lost a lot of weight. I think people who don't see me often feel like there's already a big difference between how I looked at the end of December and I do now. So,
Dude, that is
yeah.
awesome. In just 1 month.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's only going to get better. I mean, even someone I don't really see in person, but we talk on Zoom calls every few weeks. When he saw me, he was like, dude, like, your face definitely looks more defined than the last time I saw you, which I also noticed my skin is way healthier than it used to be. Like, I look at myself in the mirror in the morning and I honestly feel like I'm glowing.
I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions as well that people just don't really know um, or understand. They feel like, oh, if you want to get fit, just eat fucking grass or something. I don't know, and then you'll make it. But it's not the case, right? You can't eat grass for the rest of your life. So I feel like that's the most surprising thing for me. Like actually trying to build a lifestyle that's sustainable, not just something I do to get fit, and then what happens once I get fit, right? Honestly, it's not even the weight. Like I just feel a lot better overall because from before, I was just super lazy. Like I said, I had like, oh, but I didn't say it, but I had a back problem as well. And that's all just gone away since I've been more active, and I just feel better. I feel like more. It sounds weird, but I feel more energetic, even though I'm like spending more energy. Like I'm taking more steps. I'm working out 4 times a week. I mean, everyone said I looked a lot thinner, like my face especially.
I feel like I could go get in the ring and start fighting again. So physically, yeah, and then mentally, I feel healthy.
What about the chicks?
Bro, I was talking to one right before this meeting. Yeah, that's been working out well.
That's when we changed my life. It gave me a whole new experience, a whole new view of myself. This is the way I've never seen myself. That's one thing. The second thing is it boosted my confidence in a really big way, especially in terms of fitness. So for the longest time, fitness was something where you look at it as like an external thing. It's like no matter what, it doesn't really feel like a part of you. That was me for the longest time. But now it feels a part of me. It feels like it's a component of me. It feels like it's a component of my lifestyle. When I wake up in the morning, that's one of the first things that pop into my head is like, okay, is today a workout day? What am I going to work out today? Even though I work out in the evenings, when I wake up, it just pops in. So very happy to be like light. Like I haven't experienced this type of light feeling in myself in a very long time. I'd say many, many years, like maybe more than 5 years or so. 6 years, 7 years easily. But right now, nothing fits, so I bought new pairs of clothes. That was unexpected.